Get us saying a pledge anyway.
Okay, we're ready to rock.
We do.
All right, bring the meeting to order, April 27th, 6:10, Monday. Municipal building, all trustees are present, Rosemary and Eric, Donna, and Ashley Isabel. You join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any changes or additions?
Just removing the treasurer's report.
Yep. No bills to pay. Good.
Yeah, like that.
Okay, we'll be entering executive session to interview an applicant for a treasurer position. Got one.
I move to enter executive session as allowed under one VSA section 313A3. The appointment of an employee or evaluation of a public officer or employee for the purpose of interviewing a village treasurer candidate. All the trustees present and Eric. And
Rosemary.
Ashley.
How about Rosemary?
Isabel. And Rosemary.
Yeah.
And Donna.
I would have done it at 10. But it's fine.
Well,
Okay.
So are you inviting me to stay?
No. Any further discussion?
Need a second on there.
Oh, I thought you seconded it.
I did, I want to take a pure.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll be entering executive session at 6:13.
Is it okay if I just go in the back room?
Yep.
Okay.
Donna, will you add to that I'm recusing myself from any votes, but I will be running the meeting.
Okay.
Hey, Eric, with that, instead of shutting it off, so we have two different ones, can we, is there a way to pause it or take off the volume?
I ain't gonna stop soon. There's another gotta be.
Cause it's supposed to just do different videos.
well, whoops. Good idea.
Well, if you can't guarantee it's paused, I'd like you to turn it
I
off.
think there's a spot that will show Why do people come up?
Yeah, I'll get them, or you can get them. Hey, we are
Back
now back to recording.
I like it a lot better that way, we're not having to separate you and
It's good to us, good tip. Yeah.
You going back in? Okay, what's next?
He is with Marcel, right? Yes. Okay.
Remember the. You're back, man.
I am a lead adjuster.
Yep, you know it.
Yeah, I know that, but
I'm sure we did.
I got a funny story to tell you. You're gonna laugh. It wasn't really funny.
Okay, Eric and Kenny, have fun with this one. Oh. Hero banners? Oh, we're at the hero banners, I thought we were at discussion.
Oh,
Fine, I'll
take
hero banners.
No.
We're not there yet.
Here,
Yeah.
found his discharge paper, Donald with discharge paper, so.
beautiful.
I can live with Ben, well, my sister.
They must have a picture of him in this.
Oh, yeah, stuff, I got all, but my mother ended up keeping it, so.
Gordy, how you doing, sir?
Came out of retirement for one night.
Oh, sweet.
Want to see?
I'm just holding the chair down for you.
What's that?
I'm just holding the chair for you.
No, you're doing good.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's like.
A lot of people beg to differ.
Okay.
Whoa.
So we're out of executive session at 7:08, no action taken.
Hi, Rosemary.
Update on heroes banners, Eric. Oh, I guess public comment, anybody got any comment? No, good.
Okay. Where's Will at? Cause
He's probably
having.
He's over there in a minute. Yeah, so. I've got 5, maybe 6 apps so far. Thinking Will might have more.
I think he does. I know he gave out a couple, I don't know if he has them back.
Have you got all the contact info for the place we need?
Question for you, Will. Question.
Did you get any more hero banner applications?
I do not know.
Yeah, I've got 5 on my desk so far.
So far, I know there's been at least a dozen handed out.
Yeah.
So,
There wasn't no minimum, right?
nope.
So I would say we take action on the 5 we have. So we can have them up for Memorial Day and then hopefully get some more in.
Increase back prices, right? Once they have our,
BJ did all that.
once they have our format. No, we just told them 14 and they gave us a price.
You get like good contact info for the place we chose, just email me, or do you wanna order them, or either one, or?
I think I sent you all, everything I had, all the emails and everything.
Yeah, it was the one that we used in the past, correct?
Yes, I know which one it is, I just didn't know the best person to contact, so.
Yeah, I'll find out.
Yeah, just
The
find
guy
out.
was, the guy was good.
I mean, we're gonna do all 14, there's no question about it,
Yes.
and then probably more than that, but
But if we
Right.
can do it in pieces.
if we can just get it started, people start seeing it, I think there'd be a lot more interest.
That's right, that's what exactly what I was saying.
We've got
So-
$2,600 in donations.
For that heroes banners, that is awesome. So the board wants
That was Alan will be,
from Johnson Farm and Gardens, or was it Alan personally?
check was from her, yeah, but it was Alan. Struggled to check it out.
Please express the board and the village residents, thank you to Alan when you see him.
Someone else gave 500, another couple, there's a
Perfect phone.
$150.
We're gonna get, no cards and send it.
Yep, awesome.
Awesome.
So the board wants Eric to take action in order for the applications he has.
Yes, another question on that, on the pamphlet that we're giving out. I mentioned the picture and I was told it was just placeholder, Eric's picture. It's still Eric's picture. I'd like to have a picture of a resident on there.
That'd be great.
And that's also
You got
color.
that application, right? So there's.
I can, I'll throw,
Switch it
I'll
out.
throw Tom's green picture up
Tom
there.
Carney's in there?
Yeah,
Awesome, yeah.
I'll throw him as the center picture.
Perfect, thank you.
And that is for just more application flyers.
Yeah, that's the picture. of it.
So, guys, one question go. Yeah, is there a time frame in which we want to, because we're currently doing like living vets, was our first goal. If we want to take a time frame, or if we don't get the 14, we want to start opening it up to all vets.
I would say that's fine with me. I would open it to everybody right from the get-go.
We're gonna get go, okay,
That's my opinion.
okay,
Ellis? BJ?
all right.
Okay, so somebody like to make a motion, to have Eric start out with, how many do you have, Eric? 7?
You're 5 or 6, just.
With the
I
applications he has
I
now.
don't need a motion, I just got it written down, let's do it.
Yeah.
Census.
Everybody good? There you go, Eric. Get them puppies coming so that we can get them up for Memorial Day.
Yep.
Alright, so we have discussion of possible action regarding electrical budget, possible loan bond requests. Eric?
All right. So. This is the board, I'd like to. Run through it. With board questions, if not, while I'm doing it, but I'd rather hold the resident questions till the end, because I'll probably be able to answer half of them during the presentation. Is that fine, folks?
Sounds good.
Start at the top. It's awesome. I got one. All right. So operating revenue. First part was merchandise and jobbing. That's not be nearly as high as last year, so I didn't put it as high. We don't have the deferred revenue of 50 grand every year. That was for the 100C upgrade job that they just never had time to do. They did it last year, so that thing has been spent, along with the interest that was in that, that we had on that. Mutual aids can be down a little bit because Morrisville is running Hyde Park, who is more majority of our mutual aid revenues, and they don't need mutual aid from us as much without we've been involved. So all that means that we're about 95,000 less revenue than last year in operating revenue. So you'll see that I'll explain it later on down the budget. That 415 ask is reduced to a 291,500 ask. A 5-year note on that would be about 62,000 a year in loan payment. Get into the electrical sales. Basically, if you just look, these numbers are all 2.3%, 2.35% lower than last year's numbers due to the load predictions. That makes us down 64.5 thousand from last year's earnings. So that all comes down to 159, basically 160,000 less revenue than last year.
Say that again.
So we're not counting the bond, we're $159,598 less revenue than the actuals for last year.
Okay, well, why would the money we had sitting there for the 100C project be considered as revenue?
It's
It was-
the way
it was-
the
it was-
financials require it.
Okay, well, it was money that was set aside for a project that was waiting for the box to come in.
Right.
That wouldn't be necessarily revenue, that would be outgo, wouldn't it?
Rosemary?
So. You have to.
You have to accept it and then pass it out.
Actually. Project.
Right.
Show you spent it.
So it's, we've been planning on doing it. They've been planning on doing it since 3-4 years before I
Yes.
got here.
Yeah.
So they put it in every year because they think they're gonna do it. And didn't get done. And I leaned on them hard last year and we got it done. It's hard to lean on them earlier because we had this little place called the flood. So. Okay, when it gets my, my beliefs and the beliefs of most of the board, zeroed out capital reserves. Purchase power costs, this is. This is kind of this is the crux of the whole thing. So. There are numbers in here were basically right, it's just that they weren't in the right columns. Just because, well, we had moved things or something at some point in the past. And it was making it harder to track because, like transmission was in purchase power. Project 10 used to be called transmission, but it was project 10. I added the transmission line item. Other expenses also included the renewable energy, charges from the legislature. And I took it out, put it on its own line, so it's, it's obvious that they're charging us almost $74,000 a year just for the privilege of, providing power. So if you look at, if you take the fact that we're almost $100,000 more expense in transmission than last year, and 344.5 thousand more transmission purchase power expense than 24. You end up just with this section and the reduced income of about a $259,000 gap. Which $259,000 gap just from there, but we're only asking for $291. So it's almost all of it. Of course. All right. The other big one was a just flat out calculation budget building error on my part. Get down onto get it back into labor. We went all to the labor items, but then there's the one that I had $120,000 in it. $134,000 in it.
You got 134,000 in miscellaneous labor. Is that just a keystroke thing, or did that come from somewhere else?
Where are you seeing it?
I'm just this.
That was what it used to be. What happened was when I was tabulating. So if you go over to here, take a look at the screen. There's salary by department. So they give the crew, and there's the electric department, and there's the total of their amount for the electric department. Okay, I was having a problem rectifying that number with all the whatever dozen plus labor lines that's broken down into. I don't know what was happening because I redid the calculations like 3 times and it was, well, it screwed up every time. I redid it last week and I don't know where I was having the error. It was.
So you were auto propagating your spreadsheet, basically, is that?
Okay. Something was wrong, something happened wrong with the spreadsheet. Yeah,
Okay.
Something in Excel or whatever, or I don't know. I don't know how it happened wrong, but because I know I was pulling my hair out trying to get it to rectify and it wouldn't. So I was like, okay, well, I need to count for all those dollars. I'm just gonna dump it in this line item in order to not come up short. But it was a calculation error.
Okay. So that's what gives us from the 259 to 400.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And we have some higher expenses. Redoing the R4 reclosure substation, we need a bunch of wire, So it's getting pass through charge to customers.
Yeah, explain what they are first.
It's the. What do they call them? It's the heart of the substation.
I mean, I'm saying somebody doesn't
There's-
know.
there's four-
no,
there's-
Power 4 means nothing.
Right. There's different circuits, and that's actually the spare. And
Right.
you need to have a good spare.
Yeah.
So the spare's gonna cost us $8,000 to get back to being
Now, is that,
ready for
is
us.
that one on backward, or is that, there was something that was on backward, because it was ordered, was way out,
Yes.
is that the part?
It was.
Okay.
And that's just that. I added money for either contract out for AMI or the. Additional office staff that's being discussed. If the fees are just. We're fine, they were, but I think the fees were up, but I'm left them up, I've discussed it with Vipsa and. There's different numbers being combined. In the previous way it was set up, they explained that, well, what happened is. The VIPS fees come through as VIPS fees, but. Budgeting, they have us break them down and. Part of VIPS fees are power supply analysts, so they're part of the power supply costs. So they're accounted for up in that. The power supply miscellaneous, they're part of that power supply miscellaneous cost.
Before you get too low, just. so
Yes.
I know. Office expense, $50,000. What is that?
That's billing and everything else, right?
What do you put in there besides just, I mean,
The catch-all place.
Dams,
Fuel bills, stamps,
electricity,
electricity,
Okay,
insurance.
insurance, well, not insurance.
not sure, but
Insurance facility.
so the mail, I'm just curious on if we run the numbers. Is it? For what we pay in stamps and mailings and everything else. Versus. Online billing and. It's,
the online bills.
I mean, I realize there's a 3%. If we pay online, it's 3%, and that's why my wife refuses to pay it, is online, she'll drive down here and drop a check off. Or she pays it, I'm just wondering is we have to. With the billing and the time put into the mailing and everything else is, has anybody figured out what? That's costing us, so. I realize it's what we, way it's been done, I'm just,
Right.
there
Well,
a cheaper way to have it be done.
I mean, we encourage the online stuff as much as we can, we can't force it.
Right.
But I think it's a little bit better than half that actually do it,
Right,
so.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife.
yeah, my wife would drive down, put it back.
Right.
Exactly. I just trying to, I just curious, I see the number done. I'm just trying to get an idea of what that is. So that's just anything to do with the end and downstairs.
The outside services. I thought we have to pay for the AMI training, they're not gonna just do that, or how does that?
No,
work?
they are, that's in case I need more people because of all the turnover. If I need extra people to help with the crank with it, like. I've got this there, plus. The positive, that, or if the board seems to be. Online with hiring. Like 32-hour or whatever.
But we're talking about that one being like 30 or 40 grand, that's different than 70 grand, that's a big difference. That's what.
How much you pay that, what you pay all the other stuff associated with the employee.
Yeah,
This also includes attorney.
Right, that has everything, yeah, so normally it's a, $30,000, 25, $30,000 item. It was 40 last year. It'll include, his last name, but Dave, it'll come in and program the R4 recloser. His bill will be in there. And just, it's the foot payment down at the very bottom. See, 29.6. That is from the, this is the truck payment for the new utility truck that hasn't showed up yet. 39.6 is the truck payment for the small bucket, which we got. We were authorized 179, I believe, and we ended up borrowing 119 for that. Back at the 24 annual meeting, we were, well, you can see that we're behind in 24. We asked for $330,000. Basically the same as the 415 we asked this time, is for the same reasons.
We didn't use it.
And we did not use it because we got it to be careful. When we didn't need it, we didn't take it. You know.
So there was no $300,000 already borrowed.
That's not been borrowed at all. It was authorized, but it was never acted on. Yep.
So. Just trying to do this. For the sales of electricity is $2,371,794. That's about the number. And. Projected cost of that $1,773,681. Profit, so we're trying to run a budget off is $598,000. Is that right?
Right.
$598,113. Pay for everything. That's not
All the manpower, equipment, capital, wire, poles, transformers, fuses. I mean. It's all very expensive stuff.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that's where our budget.
Yeah,
that's
most of our,
That's our dollars.
the biggest dollars are all about buying power.
So what is Webster currently saying about, one of the board with the increase request? For. Is it,
They are waiting until our auditors finish the 25 audit, which we're shoving them and they're in the middle of. They're not gonna even really give it a good look until we have the audit done. Yep.
what's your impression? I mean, you know the numbers, you know that. We're not cutting the corner, making up numbers on our actuals. So, it's under 2, then it's usually a shot, it's usually a pretty easy request.
It's easy for
It's just easier.
right. It's
It's gonna be,
it's a single root canal instead of 2 or 3 root canals.
Correct. But
it's gonna be 10%.
Easy. 10, yeah, we're looking 10-12%.
we're
Please, friends, you guys go. If we remember that, the expense are gonna go up, just because of the bond for next year. So
What's that again? Say that again.
the expenses, of course, will go up just because of the bond next year. So we gotta, that's part of it's gonna be part of what you're raising rates for.
So to keep in line with the questions I'm being asked about the legitimacy of the future of small municipal. It's my understanding that straight across the board, co-op and all GMP and all those other guys are also asking for increases this year.
Every year.
And so it looks like unless their increases are significantly less than what we're needing, unless they're gonna be solidly in the middle of the pack as far as price per unit.
To my knowledge, all of the BIPs utilities are going in this year. And I'm guessing everybody else is too. That's just where the market is.
Yeah, there's no other way to drive this thing other than cost per unit. Coming that we're paying, drives drives the current budget deficit plus the fact that, you know, we need the increase and that is affected, that affects everybody in Vermont buying power. So,
Now I want to show you a little something right here. Just to kind of give you an idea. Now, this is by far the simple page of our power bill, basically. Gives you an idea how wild it is. So the power market is, well, I don't know, it's like Vegas or this, basically it's like the stock market. So all it is, it takes, you know, it takes highly trained market analysts to give best guess at where it's gonna be. As you can see, up in so the gray is the actuals for this year. Well.
Is it possible to zoom?
See what I can, well, yeah, we'll just not worry about the totals right off. We'll go straight to there. So. Budget, you know, forecast power cost. So just net resource, I'm looking at net resources and load settlement. That's the big one for the variability. We guesstimated $126,000 worth of resources and load settlement for January. We only spent $51,000. However, we wanted 109 in February and spent 127. March was more close to budget. And that's all about where a weather event hits you and hits your resources. So we are part owners in several, you know, power producing resources. Project 10 is our big one that everyone hears about. In January, that big cold snap cost us about $50,000 in excess power, just in Johnston. However, P10 and some of the other resources made us $150,000. So we ended up saving a buck of money in January because of the load resources. Other, you know, power companies were tapping and, you know, at the market rate during that massive cold snap, and we made money. You know, and I said, we own part, we don't manage it. We manage it as a member, you know, through VIPSO. So we have a say, we just don't have, you know, full say. But
yeah,
just gives you an idea. I mean, look how variable that is. We you know, we budgeted for 125, 109, 100, ended up with 51, 127, and 102. So we're still ahead of the game for this year because January is such a good thing. But, you know, February is.
but July can turn us upside down.
It could, 100%.
It's not,
They said,
it's not straightforward, you know, go to your producer.
no,
And they'll give you this price, not to be paid for this year.
it's
Very volatile.
It's so many moving parts every single day. And we have staff that tracks the VIPSO. That's what they do.
All right. So,
They do the best they can. So you look down here. You know, it's 42% under budget in January, 14 over in February, and 14 and 4 over in March. So it's just that volatile. Yep. People just don't realize how. They realize the power bill comes, but they don't realize what goes into, you know, to doing it.
so from my perspective, Eric. Just give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
So historically, concern that got to me is $300,000 that we were, I don't know, for previously. And obviously, everybody would be 100% correct if we were looking for 300,000. We took that and then we asked for another $400,000
Right.
in a very short time frame.
Right.
Because my understanding that 300,000 was requested as a buffer, and we didn't use it.
We were in a better spot, did not use it, never
So-
never signed one piece of paper with an institution.
So the only bond we've taken in the last 6 years was 119,000
For a truck.
Bucket truck.
Yep.
Which is equipment, which that without capital equipment fund, to purchase it, that's what you do.
Right.
You can't buy these trucks with a check typically. So the. Big concern I've had with people is that $300,000 starts a trend. So that is not true. So therefore, we think that comes off the table. The 415,000 that we requested at our annual meeting has been revamped and we're down to 291.
291, but
Well, and that's also, Eric, without removing any outside contractor for free services, right? That is 22,290.
Yeah. No, actually, I zeroed that out. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that. I zeroed that out.
Pretty sure. Yeah,
It's zeroed.
so what's the new number?
Okay, yep. Yeah, it's 26.
Yep.
So what's the new number we're anticipating shortfall to be?
291.5.
291.
If you did it on a 5-year, it'd be 62,000-ish a year.
Now, if we do get an increase, that I had that number written down, 52 something a year.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah, 62-ish. And that doesn't require a bond vote, right? That's 5 years.
That would be a 5-year would be a floor vote.
Be a 4 vote.
Well, actually, a 5-year with an enterprise would be a board vote, wouldn't it?
Under 5 years, it's just a, you guys request.
Electric department's a little bit different,
Okay. I knew that water and sewer was, but
still think you need more
okay, but it'd be floor, not
before.
yeah.
So. My question is, if we have to go, be a 4 vote that's under 5,
5 or under,
it's
yeah.
over 5.
Yep.
Okay. Anticipation of putting in a 10% increase. Is that 62 for 5 years reasonable?
Yeah, I mean, and we would put in for the increase that the analysis,
Right, I mean.
analyzed, if they're gonna,
10 was thrown out, and they're gonna analyze and they're gonna say 12 or 8 or
Right.
whatever they're gonna say.
Right.
But if we get the voters approval on the 291. And change, that would be factored into.
Correct.
Into that increase,
yes,
so that would be covered. So we won't, yeah. But depending upon when the paperwork goes in and when the increase hits and depending on how much the increase is. It's just gonna be very similar, if my understanding is correct, to the 300,000 we requested previously. It may or may not be used depending upon where the increase hits.
And how them rates are falling.
Right, if for some reason we get a good month like January. We might do okay, but if we take a bad hit in July, we could be pooched.
I mean, it's not like we get to take and set a budget and say, we want this, we're gonna budget this much money this year. Oh, look, we have a $200,000
Sure, overcharge on.
or extra at the end of the year, we're gonna just roll it to next year. We're not allowed to do that. So that's what makes it a trick.
well, actually, with the enterprise fund, if you're over, you get to keep the money.
But then the next time you go for a rate case, you ain't getting it, so you're gonna burn that money buying electricity.
So everything I'm saying makes sense, the 300,000 it's not affected, it's just not come into play as a historical bad debt. We brought the numbers down between the actuals for this year already and tabulation error in your formulas on your spreadsheet was a huge chunk of that. And it's obviously this board and our managers intent to do everything we can do to mitigate the money that we're requesting. That makes sense. So. And we have a point where we take questions from the board.
It's on the board.
Just go ahead and explain this one real quick, Eric.
Okay. What?
The last
So I put that up basically just to look at the actuals for net resourcing load settlements. It's the variability, that's the whole point of that. It's all about these three lines are the same three lines that are in the budget for purchase power. So it's the same, those are the same three lines, just those are 3 months of it. It correlates exactly with the budget line items.
You don't know
Hmm?
what April's coming up to yet?
I just got March.
Okay,
It came in today.
okay.
You got to pop off the press.
Any questions from the floor?
I have a couple, but I'll let the young lady go first.
I came in just as you were talking about, having $159,000 less revenue from last year. Could you break it down? Did I miss that? Was there something?
Yeah, I did.
I'm sorry to ask. Really super quick, what?
Okay.
in a nutshell?
So 50 of it is kind of notional because you have to, we had money for the past 10 years to do a project on 100C. Like that, like it was well before I did.
Mike was there when I was on the board.
Right.
That's been a while.
And so you have to show that money. If you plan on doing the work and spending it, you have to show it at the top of your budget. So that's, that second line is, deferred revenue. Well, the intent every year was to do it, and floods and everything else came up. Schedules, and it didn't get done. Well, last year, this past summer, I told that was, job one. Unless we were knock on wood, we flood. And they did it. So that's no longer part of our budget. So it's 50, but that line's almost kind of like depreciation. It's there. It matters. You have to have it in the budget, but it's not cash. So really 109,000, discount that part. But the other stuff is the fact that, merchandise and jobbing was just way high last year. It's not that high. Mutual aid revenue was be down because Morrisville is running Hyde Park and using themselves for mutual aid more than they're using us. And that's the biggest part of it. The other part is a 2.35% load reduction across the entire electricity revenue. So I lowered all those numbers from actuals 2.535%. That's kind of the fuel behind the last revenue.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Very good. Anybody else?
So in the budget, it is in there to get a back fee from Green Mountain Power. In case Morrisville goes down again, is there a way to back fee?
Right. That's not in the budget. I'm currently looking for grant money to support that project.
That's a large lift.
Yeah.
I
Very
expect
expensive.
it would be.
Right.
But the good thing is it could benefit them also because they'd be able to power up off of us if their lines are down coming from Morrisville also. So
Right, and I still,
hopefully we can get them to play ball and agree to
but
it.
so our power, it comes from actually physically from Morrisville?
Comes from over by
It
the,
comes from that direction. It's not, it's not from Morrisville.
right,
The translation lines.
comes through Hyde Park and
Almost up.
Morrisville and,
Technically, some of the power would be from Morrisville because of the dams, but
right.
it's
But the power line physically is located along Route 15
But no, our
up
feed,
on the hill.
our feed comes from 100C by my house.
Robertsy.
Above Powerhouse Bridge substation there, that main line, that's where the main line comes to, that's B
22.
22.
22. Yep.
And then what's the one over by the old mill? that comes from Morrisville's power supply, because when I worked at Talc Mill, they used to call us all the time and tell us to shut stuff down because Morrisville was losing its lights.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that transmission line that's below our house is, where's that come from? That's always been
It
there.
comes from Fairfax to Cambridge to us to East Johnson, goes all the way up to Lowell, Irisburg.
And that's what connects into the BEC.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
They all intertwine. It's just the
Yeah.
main feeds. Is what we're discussing on coming down to with the power supply. So we don't get any power feeding our system from this direction.
So Green Mountain Power own it, or it used to be Central Vermont, but they're long gone.
who the hell is that?
It was,
The Green
There
Mountain.
was some Green Mountain. Yeah.
It's Green Mountain now.
The blue and yellow helicopter that buzzes my house. all the time. Gordy, what do you have?
well, part of that,
I was gonna say, you should have any questions. You know all these answers. You did this for how many years?
Yeah,
part of what Lori's referring to is that, we looked into it, I'm gonna call it a physical solid path or some connection with Green Mountain Power.
Yep.
Come from this way, but.
Oh, from this way there.
We will be charged over $100,000 a year, that's if we didn't even use it. There's no use, then if you used it, you're paying pretty good money to GIP. So that's.
And
what-
that might be the case coming the other direction too, and get them figured out and see if I can't sweet talk them into, not really hammering us for just having it as a backup.
So at
It's
that
not
point,
just a switch.
Yeah.
like you get your vehicles and you get your recalls and stuff, but then
Oh,
the
yeah.
connections are there, so the line crew could do it through proper switching, but that does not exist.
Right.
One message you got from the meeting the other night was, I think quite a few people would have voted for this. But one thing lacking was better communication.
Yep, that is well noted.
Well, you, 6 of you have noted that, and I think
I-
one thing would be nice would be to show. Take 2 average uses, put an average house is for kilowatts, and then take another one, look a little bit higher, like 500. Then take all the utilities, what is each utility paying for that amount of electricity, and show where Johnson is, that we're roughly in the middle.
Hold on. I can do that.
I would just like to add, the communication part is a two-way street. So Ken's not gonna stand on the corner and wave his hands and holler out what we just did on the budget. Everybody's here with asking questions, but nobody comes when we're working on the budget and ask questions.
Yep.
So. We do everything the select board does when we advertise stuff or put it out for information for meeting. They'll show up to that one, but nobody shows up to ours, so. You can ask us to spend next year, have Eric spend 10 extra hours getting this information out. It's gonna make zero difference unless we're asking for $300,000 bond.
That gets people's attention, and you gotta,
Well, I understand that, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? We're getting a lot of complaints about this, but nobody come when we were setting this budget. And this was out then.
but I think most people would rather just stay home and have it, the information got to
Right,
where it's
and
on.
And then just come complain to the people that are actually stepping up and doing it.
Because this was advertised.
And the reality is that every one of us here got voted in because somebody trusts us to do this job.
That's-
And if they trust us well enough to do this job, they shouldn't have to come to a meeting. But if we have big issues that are gonna be a concern, then for God's sakes, come and see the process. You know, the day-to-day stuff, it's boring as hell. To be honest with you, so I don't blame you guys for not coming, but, if you see on the docket that, we're gonna be talking about rates or we talk about budgets, stuff like that. If it's something you're interested in, I'm gonna just listen. That way there you'll be informed as to what the process is. And I think Corey's right that. There's a few things we're gonna do different from now on that weren't done before, and one was gonna be the meeting's gonna be after work hours. It'll be warned as it was before, multiple locations. So that if it is an interest or is a concern, people will have good access to go to get the information.
Another one, Kenny, is the Sadie Katie, if we get that information out, that's on your member hours held, and average numbers of times a person's out of power, and that's where you guys, or all of us, we really shine. So when people start criticizing the electric department, can we afford it, or this and that, they you people need to say what a good deal is going here, at least for now. Someday down the road, things will change. But for now, this is a good situation that we're all in, I believe, and
Yeah, last year's numbers didn't look great. Only because of the library.
Right.
It was such a small department that one instance messed our numbers up, so it didn't look great. But yeah, our reliability is unmatched except for possibly by Burlington. That's it. No one else has reliability close to us.
Because you know,
If
those
you
like,
look-
swamp.
There's your average bills.
Oh, you got it right
You
there.
can see they're in order from smallest to largest. And we're less than halfway. And you see the big boys are near the, well, actually, it's not ordered that way. Hold on, let me order it correctly. Why is it not ordered?
Then is a way you could paraphrase it. Cause there's only you 6 and 7 of you, you do this every month. The rest of us listening, we don't hear it every month. But could you guys have Eric or between some of you to paraphrase this whole meeting that you've done into something that the average person can look at, oh, this is really nice, or no, it's not very good, just to understand it better.
Just
And what would it
basic.
cost to put it into an electric bill, an expense you guys don't want to incur.
90% of the time, we can't put nothing in electric bills because the state of Vermont's making us put something in, or Webster or the other power authorities. So every time we tried doing a quarterly newsletter, couldn't even get that out because there's always fillers.
Heck of a postage.
Okay.
Costs money,
Okay.
you know, so it's like we put in as much as we can put in on a single stamp.
what if,
We're cheap.
if we wanted to do a quarterly statement or something like that, why can't we just put it at the counter? As a pickup, I mean, a lot of people come in and you say half can do it offline, but half will come in and pick it up, and if it's something of interest, they'll tell someone else, or
Right.
you bring a copy to someone. I mean, if the billing is cost prohibitive, because we're, I'm trying to watch nickels and dimes, then do or not put it beside the window, and I think people will distribute it themselves.
We can also put it out on our social media, our Facebook and our website.
Okay, yeah, now we get those up and running, that took a while to get that process going, but now that's running is another option. So.
I mean, I'm just gonna say it again, we can put it out in 50 different other areas. Let the public gets involved when we're doing our meeting the same time it's been done for the last 45 years on July or January or February dates. Hasn't changed, never will.
I hear you.
You can lead a horse to water and you can't make them drink.
But I think it's not unreasonable for the people to.
I'm not saying it's unreasonable, I'm just saying we can spend more money doing that.
Well, if
And then get questioned why we're spending more money again.
I'm not saying the flyer increase the profit, I'm just saying, you know, throw a few flyers, quarterly reports out at the window, put it on Facebook, put it on whatever.
It was my idea to do a flyer, so I was always pushing it.
Yeah,
Like I said, it just becomes a problem and.
Yeah.
It's hard to get them out when we wanted to do them.
And one more thing, Penny, is, you know, 1 or 2 people that live outside the village, but are on village electric, they say they have no voice. They do have a voice in that they can come to a meeting, if there's a way that they could get the message it. Or you guys all have emails.
Yeah.
Where they could set an appointment with you and say, come in, I'll glad to talk to you and answer your questions, if you could get that message out there.
Which a lot of it's because there's a lot of confusion and it's we're thinking we're running something different than the town does. At town meeting, if you're not a town resident, you gotta sit off to the side, you don't get to talk.
Right.
So if you're not a village resident, the only thing we were doing at the annual meeting was asking the voters to back a bond. We weren't asking them to approve our budget, we already approved the budget. And that's what everybody got confused with at that meeting. It had nothing to do with besides, yes, we're gonna give you all the information because we're asking you to back the bond. But it had nothing to do with the actual budget. And there was nothing different than when the other people who use the utilities who are outside the village. All they have to do is come during budget season when we're doing our budget, and we'd absolutely listen to them because they're ratepayers.
You guys have all got email addresses. They can contact any one of you. That's the only other point I had was that, go ahead, I'm sorry, I'm all done.
Oh, that's okay, all right, you keep talking.
No, you're good.
So the rents are going up, is that town orchestrated, there's a rent figure?
I asked Eric to raise the rents for the water and lights department because they rent out of the general department, taxpayer funded building, the garage. That's the general department. It's not, we call the water and lights garage. It's not the water and lights garage. It's the general department. So that's tax based funding.
Rent hasn't been changed in for a lot longer than I've been here.
Okay,
And
so
now we got a
it's-
brand new, I've got a brand new building.
Yeah, so is within the department, our departments are within the village?
Right.
Well, so, you know,
Water and lights are ratepayer funded only, not
there
taxpayer.
are 4 completely separate budgets
The
that,
Oh, I
sidewalks
see what
or
you're saying.
storm
I got you.
drains are taxpayer funded.
you know,
Correct.
the general
So
department.
that's an internal, nothing to do with the town.
We're charging the
Yeah.
utilities more money for you to cost less for the taxpayers at the garage.
Right,
General department owns physical property and then they use it and then the ratepayers reimburse us for the garbage like we just spent. All
like-
rebuilding it.
all,
So,
all the other general departments pay for electricity. You know, the
And
electric
water and
department, or the general department pays water and sewer. I mean,
Right,
they're all under the same management, but they're 4 completely different.
so the accounting for the electricity,
Completely separate.
totally separate and that,
Like Eric's salary is divided up between
Yeah,
4
so-
enterprises.
I don't know if you missed this, but if you look there, so this is the cruise stuff, but. There's their total salaries, there's their percentage of electric, percentage of general, percentage of water, percentage of sewer. It's broken down basically by the time they spend on each item.
okay. Okay.
And that's how you take, and those numbers all go to each different budget.
So with our next transition from a new treasurer, town clerk, such or village clerk situation, is that gonna change our taxes in the village?
Sure it is.
Look,
I mean, we're
that
having to
depends.
add staff.
That depends, whether or not the other costs in the world are gonna equal up what we save from what we pay Rosemary to the new treasurer.
Yeah.
So if gas prices go up to $7 a gallon, you're not gonna see any savings on that end. Because we're gonna have to pay more, so there's no way we're gonna reduce taxes.
Okay,
the transition will affect taxes, how much, which direction.
we're not quite sure
We're
yet.
not quite sure, but and there's a issue with the divided employees as well, that has a potential to make it influence on the actual charges to the village ratepayers.
So on the treasurer's report, and I may be seeing this incorrectly. The balance on hand in 25 was the 322,000 in the negative, and balance on hand this year was 426. 862, so that's a $90,000 difference. Did we lose 90,000 last year?
In what? In revenue?
Well, this is the treasurer's report, you've got revenues and expenses. I'm just,
Well,
and,
it's kind of funny how that plays. So
okay,
while, let me bring up the budget status.
so it's this last page in here,
Yeah, so
that's what I'm looking at.
I brought that up. With it go when hold on a second. Here.
I mean, we've had 159,500 less revenue in 2025.
That's just the electric,
So,
are you looking at it?
are we gonna continue to have that trend?
Well, I don't know, it depends on how many more houses get bought out and stuff.
Yeah,
No,
well,
yeah,
we've
so
lost
red.
a
So is
lot of
that-
customers.
Is that the electric report? We've got.
Yeah, the electric, the last page in here,
It's the electric, okay.
electric. And I know, and I'm very aware of. We, the village losing accounts, the sawmills, all the heavy users are pretty much gone.
College myself,
All of it.
they're still college, but
The revenue college line item was more this year than last, despite the fact that we were told that you were bringing in less revenue from the college. Up there it showed more.
Is that the first quarter of this year? Or was that last?
Just all of last year, the college.
They
burned
did
some
have-
electricity last year.
Well, they also rented out their apartments to Smuggler's Notch for the entire winter.
Oh,
So that brought in
Yeah.
a higher revenue.
yeah, that's not something we anticipated,
So to answer your,
which is a good thing, I mean, you're
Are
on.
they metered separately, the apartments up on the hill?
All the colleges, they don't have one meter up there, they have many. Yeah.
They're individual.
But as a whole,
okay, I want to go into your budgetary thing. That was, you know, we were down that much from, we're down from budget. So, you know, we didn't bring in as much as we thought we were gonna bring in,
Mhm.
but we also didn't spend nearly what we thought we were gonna spend. So if you look at last year's budget status report, end of year, here is, so I circled net revenues. It's $2.823 million, right?
Mhm.
And at the end. Even though we're down 46,000 on the budget. We had 2.8 over there, 2.8 something, 2,794. We were actually finished last year. As far as in minus out. Of 28.9 in the black. So we balanced out on, you know, in minus out. Not on. What we budgeted versus what we spent. So what, you know, what we budgeted, we spent more than we budgeted, but we also. Paid less than we budgeted.
Okay, that's. That's okay, but this to me is like a checkbook. If it's negative. One, you know, 1 year and the next year you're $90,000 negative, the difference.
is that on actuals or is that?
I would assume they're actuals, it's the treasurer's report. That's, I don't know, I always ran with checkbooks, so. Enough. And I understand what you're saying about the budget. And it's, and I understand that it's very. You know, difficult to estimate at times like this.
Difficult is
And we don't know what's
easy
gonna happen.
estimating that.
Harrison doesn't, but I'm just concerned. Are we actually meeting our needs in the electric department? I'm not worried about the fire department, and I know the water and sewer is fine. But I'm concerned about the electric department,
Rightly so,
but that,
rightly so.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're doing
You're
everything we
absolutely-
can and we're dealing with the same.
right, you know,
The
and.
same struggle that
And you-
every other
And
department.
get the
in
state
is.
and get whoever you can to help you to
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure we make the right decisions.
No,
So just move, as we're moving forward, is there, I'd like to take someone to talk with him, because he does so much of it. I'd like to hear my voice apparently, so, like stated earlier, we're having the auditors are working on getting last year's stuff audited. Then we'll have the actual, the numbers match the numbers, and then we go to BFS on the hook. To come in and look at those numbers, which they won't even touch until that is done. Working on that, so the steps are in process, and it's
Thanks.
it's state, I mean.
Yeah.
It's a process, and it's a process every year, so. Currently, audit gets done, that's looks at the numbers. Eric works with them, he spent a lot of time on this with them. And goes, okay, this is what the shortfall is anticipated to be, looking at the numbers that we're forecasting, and. Sometimes they get it right.
Sometimes they don't.
And then at that point there, they will recommend, look at the number, work up a request, put the request in for increase. So we're this far away from knowing what that number is. You know, I mean, Kenny and Eric are, they're thinking 10. But
10 to 12.
that's a dollar report,
Right.
you know, it could be 8, it could be 15,
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, please,
I mean,
keep us at task. Just know that we're in the process of doing every step we can do as fast as we can to get this thing on track. It's not from good management, it's not from, you know, it's just, it is what it is. You know, I love the management, I would have Eric, you know, turn his keys tomorrow but that's not the case.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're doing what we can as fast as we can, and we're trying to be as transparent as possible. And if you give Kenny a call, me a call, Eric a call, those who really know more than me, because they're up to date, day to day dealing with this, but I'll find an answer if you want. Keep pushing, you know, we'll give you the answers that we got at the time.
Yeah, and also just add on, we're not doing the vacuum at all. I'm working with IPSA. We've got a new commissioner, Department of Public Service, Carrick Johnson. He's from Public Power. The issue you're seeing isn't us. It's pretty much all public power companies. They're all dealing with it. At basically, we're in the middle of the pack as far as there's some a little better than us. There's several not doing as well. There's one that we well know next door.
We don't want
I don't think you
to-
care about what you're rated,
Right.
you know, I
So,
mean, better or worse.
Ours is with everybody else, and they had some, we'll just leave it at that. They had a lot of internal issues that
Right,
compounded the problems that we all have.
correct.
And
So-
let me finish, please.
You
So
just say
I'm
the
only
same thing
working,
over and
I'm
over.
only working with Vincent, I'm working, so Carrick Johnson is seizing. And he swears he's gonna make it better. We're working, he has his own special, I don't want to call it envoy, but he has a guy he brought on for this, Sean Interline. You know, I fed him our numbers and, you know, he's looking into all of it.
Good.
You're done?
Yes, I am, thank you.
So process question, then, if this can be a floor vote, will you be voting on it May 11th?
No.
Oh.
We have to warn our special bond vote again in May
With
11th.
the floor vote,
Still 30 days.
still 30 days.
It's
Okay.
bond.
Okay.
It's okay, well, it's not a bond, it's a loan. But,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm gonna end this conversation tonight, because we're still looking into more stuff, and our informational meeting is gonna be on the 11th. And hopefully we can have information enough to satisfy you all, or when we get some more.
Well, thank you very much.
I think you guys are being honest,
Yeah.
honestly, because we can't be transparent if we're not asked to produce it. So I think it's great that you guys are comfortable.
If you find a crystal ball side the road, buy it, so we can
So,
look.
yeah, it's, but I understand, and I know you can't control the weather.
Hmm.
I didn't pour anybody.
May 1st, 65 and sunny would be nice, but it's first day of turkey season. I'm just hitting 36 degrees in the rain, so I prefer.
There's a little bit more, you know, with everybody that buys power, still only buy. You know,
Yeah,
it's.
We're still a lot cheaper than others.
I dare anybody to compare their kilowatt hour to co-op. You'll stop asking us to sell it to co-op. Okay, we're gonna be entering executive session. BJ, would you like to make a motion?
I move to enter executive session as allowed under 1-313-A1.
Please come back on the
Village Board of.
That's where I can leave.
Made a specific finding.
Gordy.
Specific finding that premature general public knowledge of confidential attorney-client communications made for the purpose of providing professional and legal services to the body would clearly place the village Johnson at a substantial disadvantage.
We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
I.
Motion passes. We're entering